Shout out to the now long departed Excursion, but the SUV king of the current Ford lineup is the Expedition. For the 2025 model year, the large family hauler gets a fresh look, a new cabin experience, a more powerful base engine, and an improved off-road trim. It doesn't fit the needs of the average consumer, but if you do need to move a fair amount of people, a lot of stuff, and also have the ability to tow a healthy amount, the 2025 Ford Expedition certainly will get the job done. Style-wise, the new Expedition gets a fresh face and a totally reworked tail end. Up front, I like the light treatment. I also think the grille and fascia work well, minus on the platinum trim. That extra bit of contrasting lower just comes off as a fake bit of skid plate protection. Out back, I can appreciate the design work employed, but it works well on some colors and is less successful on others. I'd really like to see the base active model in person to see how that one handles all of these fresh styling elements. The same goes for the King Ranch. Speaking of that active model, it wears 18-inch wheels as standard, so I'd like to see how it fills out the wheel wells. Outside of the improved off-road trim, which I will get to shortly, the rest of the Expedition lineup is fitted with 22-inch wheels as standard on the King Ranch or 20s on the Platinum. There is an optional set of 24s for the Platinum though too. The rear liftgate has moved to a split setup. There's an upper and lower section, and you can pop that lower section down to use it as a table or a seat, which is nice. It's rated to support up to 500 pounds. Another great addition is the available zone lighting. It has 4 zones, and you can control which zones are on via controls in the infotainment system. Inside, Ford really bumped up the cabin space of the 25 Expedition. Ahead of the driver is a 24-inch digital gauge cluster display. It's set towards the base of the windshield, which is said to put all of the important information in a place that makes it easier to catch your eye when you're hustling your full-size rig down the road. Sitting center in the dash is a 13.2-inch infotainment display. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto can operate via a wireless connection, but you also get built-in Google functionality as well. The Google Play apps and Google Maps are part of the Ford connectivity package. This is something you can have with a one-time purchase price, or you can set it up as a subscription. If you don't subscribe, you get it free for a year, and you can choose to subscribe on a yearly basis after that. It seems like the smart move would be to roll that into the vehicle's purchase price, but I'm curious if that transfers to the next owner when you sell it. It should, but that doesn't mean it will. There's a bit of language in the small print of the press release that does mention the package remains active for a minimum of 7 years. It doesn't transfer to a new VIN, so if you buy it, it sounds like it stays with the car it was purchased on, not with the person who paid for it initially. There's one more bit of language that is promising though, where it says no additional subscriptions will be required to maintain the service beyond the 7 years if that service is still available. But that still doesn't say that Ford can't take a look and see the vehicle now has a new owner and then try to charge that new owner for those services. This also applies to Blue Crew's hands-free driving functionality, by the way. Just something to think about. Okay, on to the power, which is more fun to talk about than the issues the second and third owner of these things might have to deal with. The standard engine gets a bit of a bump. It's a 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6, and for 2025, it makes 400 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. Jump to the high-output version of that engine, and you're rewarded with 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Both pair with a 10-speed automatic, and both are available with rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The standard output setup is fitted to the active King Ranch and Platinum. If you want the high-output powertrain, it's available as an option on the Platinum, but it comes standard on the all-new Tremor trim. And this one, of course, is my favorite of the bunch. It looks the best, it's the most capable, and it's only offered with four-wheel drive, the standard wheelbase, and that beefier output motor. This Tremor picks up where the prior Timberline model left off. You have 10.6 inches of ground clearance, 33-inch all-terrain tires on 18-inch wheels, a retuned suspension system, embedded off-road lights behind the grille, underbody protection, and similar running boards, and a front skid plate as lifted from the Raptor members of the family. Ford engineers also tossed in a rock crawl mode, trail turn assist, which would be helpful, and one-pedal trail driving. For an extra dash of styling, there are orange elements on the outside, and some of those are useful and or functional, like the front recovery points, for example. Or, if you look at the wheels, you see that splash of orange there? That's to quickly locate the valve stem. Seems simple, but it's handy when your rig is covered in dirt and mud and you need to air up or down. Finally, if you're towing with your 2025 Expedition, the max tow capacity is rated at 9,600 pounds. Ford says you can haul up to 7,000 pounds without the need for a load leveling bar. If you've got Pro Trailer Hitch Assist and Backup Assist, by the way, it makes setting up and hauling a breeze. The 2025 Expedition can be ordered starting on October 24th. The trucks are slated to arrive in dealer showrooms sometime in the spring of 2025. We don't have the full price picture just yet, but the base active model starts just under $64,000. I'd expect the Tremor to land in the mid $70,000 range, and the Platinum should sit at or just over $80,000.